Here we are, everybody. The Indy 500! Anyways, I'm not fucking around with this, right? It's a lot. So, we're going to get right into it, right? Let's go crazy. Alright. These are your comments. This is you. Here you is. Alright. 666 Videla Tennis says, boxers are brief, and when did you switch? I am a boxer guy, and I switched when I was in high school, like maybe freshman, sophomore, somewhere around there, because girls were starting to see my underwear. So I decided boxers would probably be a better look. So I went with boxers. Your knees are bare in this video. Are you wearing any pants? Probably not. No. Most of the time, I'm in the full Pooh Bear. Ever since I saw Deadpool 2, I went, that seems the life for me, and I immediately took my pants off, and I've been full Pooh Bear ever since. I am wearing pants now, however. I ain't proving it. Favorite pizza toppings? My favorite pizza topping, honestly, gyro meat. Fucking gyro meat. Hell yeah. What scared you the most as a child, and what scares you the most now as an adult? My own mind. There is not a movie made or a story told that can scare me more than my own fucking brain. And since I'm still with my brain, it kind of carries over. So there you go. Favorite food and what you wouldn't eat even if you were starving. Well, my favorite food, hamburgers that I make. My hamburgers. The hamburgers that I make. I do fun stuff with hamburgers. My medium is meat with cooking. I am an excellent meat person. Steaks and shit like that, I cook that motherfucker like you wouldn't believe. Right? Unless you want it well done, pretty much what I do when somebody wants it well done is I put the fucking meat on, and then when mine's done, medium rare, when my medium rare's done, I just sit down and eat. And then when I'm about halfway through my steak, then I'll flip their fucking horseshit leather over to the other side so it can fucking equally just burn and char on that side, right? And then I give it to them. There you go. It's your well done fucking shit steak. And then I'm usually done eating by then, so, you know. Yeah, my burgers. The hamburgers I make, if you can ever get me to make you a cheeseburger, good shit. And what I wouldn't eat even if I was starving. Nothing. If I was starving and it was edible, I'd eat it. Like, I wouldn't eat inedible things. I think that I would keep a mind enough about me, even starving, that, like, I'm not going to eat shit. So, shit. Like, actual shit. Because I'm going to know that's going to be bad for me. I mean, unless I get to the point wherein, you know, I'm you know, fucking way far into it and I'm dying at this point. Like, if I'm at that point, fucking whatever. Just, at that point, I'll eat whatever I think will make me trip so that I can go out with a fucking nice hallucination. But, no. If it's edible, I'll eat it. I don't give a shit. I'll eat, like, bugs and shit like that. I'm not saying I'll keep it down, but I'll eat it. Fuck it. If I'm starving. I ain't doing that shit if I'm not starving. Like, if I'm not hungry, I'm not eating bugs. Why would I do that? Guess my age. I'm gonna guess you're 666. But I will say this. if you are under 18, you need your parents' permission to watch my videos. I have an adult channel here. We make adult videos here. I don't care if you watch, but they need to know that you're fucking watching, right? I believe in good parenting, and I believe in, these days I believe in children, help your parents to parent you good. Like, so, yeah, we're doing all manner of cult indoctrination here that you don't even know about. It's all behind the scenes. So you need to be over 18 for that shit. Right? That's as good as it gets, though. Like, it's about as effective as click yes if you're over 18. But nevertheless, you know, sometimes kids, when it's actually me, like in the comments, it's kind of funny. I had one kid that was like, I'm 15. And I'm like, you need to have your parents' permission to watch me. And he's like, okay. Shit made me laugh. But yeah, so, I don't know, 666, that's my guess. Mr. Hurtful, love Mr. Hurtful, check out his channel, does gaming and stuff, he's fun, he's funny. Time for another one already? Yes, yes it is! Dice! Sometimes these questions. Chuck Madden, who looks like Colonel Sanders, says, how do I erase the memory about the kid who lost his toes cutting grass in 3rd grade, then chased us with his shoe off to make us look at it? I would never advocate doing drugs. Alright. Ducky says, hey Andy, the bear, cute little bear emoji, didn't send me, been around for a long time, very true, logged off of everything for 6 months, not even news and TV. You've missed a lot. Just came back, been watching, just you keep it up, and thanks for being the guy next door. Dude, fuck man, right? Like, you've missed a lot. I imagine that was a pretty nice break, however. I imagine that was a nice decompression. But, you've missed some shit. Yeah, Ducky. Ducky's been around for a long time. I'm not sure, but I think Ducky won something. I'm not sure. He might have been part of Season 1's winners, but I don't remember exactly. I think it was Ducky. Yeah. Anyways, Oryx says, why, Andy? Why not, motherfucker? Why this? Why not, motherfucker? Given the daily near idiocy in the news cycle, why bother? Why not, motherfucker? I think I know the answer, and I'm right here with you, but I guess I just want to hear you say it. Well, why not, motherfucker? I'll say it. Why not, motherfucker? I love doing these. I need to get 1,000 subscribers more often. Judy Booty, who's been around since God was fucking sperm. Please shout out the father. I'll get to that. You know he lives for this shit, and I apparently live for the torture I'm about to endure. He still likes me better. Panda, what is that, bug? It's a bug of some sort, and then a heart. I'll get the bug. I get the panda, and I get the heart. I don't get the bug. Whatever. Alright. So, Judy's dad is like an ex-lawyer and ex-journalist. Right? I do a lot of off the cuff with the knowledge I have of the law critique. And her dad generally thinks I'm pretty brilliant. Coming from an ex-lawyer, I think that's pretty cool. And he's also an ex-journalist. And I talk about the news. And kind of just doing that is kind of considered journalism of a sort, after a fashion. And he thinks generally that I'm you know, pretty on the ball with shit. So I love her dad. Her dad's awesome. And I have her, like, he will send her emails talking to me. And then she has to forward them to because he won't email me directly, because honestly I think he knows it annoys her and he thinks it's funny. So that's how we converse. We send messages through Judy. This of course annoys Judy to no end. Plus I call him the father. Like I'm way over the top with it. The way that I talk about her father to her, like I'm trying to shame her for being not only his daughter, but so goddamn unappreciative of it. Like I'm trying to like shame her, trying to show her what a good child of his would be like, the reverence and the respect, and she's just not getting it. So I just outshine her in every way, even as a child, for a man that I've never even met personally. I have the greatest respect for the guy. I think he's fantastic. I can't say that I wish he was my dad. I love my dad to death, but nevertheless, her dad's pretty fucking awesome. If I had to have two gay dads, I wish my second gay dad was her dad. There you go. Alright, so we're, what, 5 questions in? And shit has gone off the rails. Silly Noob asks, where and when do you think politics went off the rails in this country, and why? The assassination of John F. Kennedy. I think that's when shit started to get really fucking, because, you know, after that we had Nixon. And then, dude, it just hasn't, I mean, it hasn't really been fucking great. Like, since then, you know, like, in my lifetime there was Reagan. That didn't play out well. I mean, it wasn't as bad as a lot of people like to think it is, but it wasn't as great as a lot of people like to think it is either, so, you know. Bush was fucking not fantastic. Bill Clinton was not fantastic. And then Bush was not fantastic. And then Barack Obama was not fantastic. And then Donald Trump has been pretty fantastic, but I mean, you know, you're fighting a fucking a snowball that's rolling downhill, and it's an avalanche now. Like, you see the first snowball and that all the rest of them just kill you. Fucking, I don't know. The assassination of John F. Kennedy. Like, it's a thing I can point to. You know? From there, I mean, I can't really say Kennedy was a great president, but motherfucker got us to the moon, you know? Eventually. Well, Nixon, you know, took the call, but nevertheless, dude lit a fire under our ass. He was good for that. He was good for lighting a fire under our ass. I would have been impressed to have seen what he could have done with the remainder of his life. I don't know. He was doing his dirty shit too, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know. And then before that, I mean, if you want to go back before that, fuck it. When we stopped paying attention to the spirit of the Constitution and started worrying more about how we can skirt around it with the shit we want to fucking do. I think that whenever the fuck that happened, there you go. When people started reading it very fucking literally to try and skirt around it, and when people started reading it very fucking loosely to skirt around it. When we stopped paying attention to the spirit of documents, you know, when we stopped understanding what shit meant and started looking for what shit meant. That's when. Right there. Whenever the fuck that happened. Ken Duncan asks, you look like the kind of guy who has a hairy back. Do you have a hairy back? Well, Ken, yes, actually I do. You want to see it? There you go. There's my hairy back. Alright? You can see where it's hairy. Alright? That's hairy. Hairy enough. Right? Yeah. Now you've all gotten to see the tattoo as well. And that goes all the way down to the waist. It's the... I don't think anybody asked, but there you go. That's the tattoo. Yes, hairy back. Got one. Check. Alright, Ken Duncan again. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much does your boss hate you? Well, that's a statement, Ken. Nevertheless, I'll answer it like it's a question. Actually, my boss likes me pretty well. I would say probably around an 8 or a 9. Something like that. Nothing's perfect, but nevertheless. Yeah, me and my boss, we get along pretty good. Ken asks again, have you ever liked a lady's beehole? There was one girl I dated that I liked her beehole. Her beehole was pretty nice. It was accepting. It was warm. It was appropriate in all the ways that it needed to be appropriate. I liked her beehole quite a bit. Yes. Ken Duncan, what that smell like? Well, I mean, if you're with a nasty bitch, it probably smells nasty, but I'm generally a clean girl, so. It smelled like an ass. Like, I don't know, it just smelled like skin. Clean girls, that's the ones you want to go for. Jugens asked, how do you ask your wife to get back into shape without getting yelled at and thrown out of the house? Start working out. Start taking care of yourself. Start, doing all the things to make you look really good and desirable. And then when other bitches start looking at you like you're desirable, she will begin to want to have you looking at her like she's desirable again. And that's one way that it works. If that doesn't work for you, start working out and ask her to come along. If she gives you shit, say, look, I'm going to work out. You can come if you want, but I'm going. I was just seeing if you wanted to go. Right? Make it all innocent like that. Make it a thing like that. But you can't just look at her and be like, bitch, you get fat, and that ain't gonna work. So you gotta up your game. If you want your woman to up her game, you gotta up your game. If you haven't fully tamed your bitch and actually gotten control of her, if she still has, free will, you gotta up your game. You're playing in a different fucking league than, some guys do. So, you haven't established ahead of time that there's boundaries. So you gotta up your shit. It's the price you pay. Ken Duncan again. Your pa watched you smash up an Xbox. Is he proud or disappointed? I think my dad's pretty proud of me. I'm fairly self-sufficient. I'm successful in the things that I do. I got a good job. I have fun doing YouTube. Got 5,000 subscribers, 5,600 some. That's nothing to sneeze at. He sees I've got a talent for it. He knows what I'm doing when I'm doing that kind of shit. So, I'd say he's pretty proud. I think he's proud of me. So, if he's not, maybe you can let me know, Dad, but I think he's fairly proud of me. So, Ken Duncan again. What that smell like? My father's pride in me? Slightly like Jasmine. Ken Duncan again. How big that dick? It's about not your business. If you got titties nice enough, you can find out. Savage Uger S. Comment left. Just want to see how this plays out. Enjoy. I don't really know how to perform that. You didn't leave me much to go with, Savage Uger. Alright. Layla asks, would you have your back, sack, and crack waxed by Bill Clinton for $1 million? For $1 million? No. For $5 million? Yes. And that is not a negotiable price. That's my floor. We can negotiate from there. I should have said $10 million. We'll negotiate from there. $10 million. There you go. I have a hard floor of 5 for that shit. Rusbe. I'm not sure if you are homosexual or not, but I love you. Oh, thank you. If you are a homosexual, I was wondering if we can get to know each other. Well, I am not homosexual. Sorry, but we can be friends, just not that kind of friend. Mr. Low-Key, Mr. Loke 3 what is your favorite / most meaningful memory that involved a car you owned? My favorite memory is when I was 18. My parents were gearing up to give me my mother's nice, beautiful, red little Colt. Very nice car. They were going to give me that car. And I went driving with an ex-girlfriend that I wanted to, fuck. And I figured I'd get her heart pumping a little bit with a nice curvy road, and then take her to a nice little spot that I know, by a little pond, right? And I wanted to really push the adrenaline. So I wanted to go around the turn pretty quick, but I also wanted to stay in our lane. Like, I had a girl in the car with me. When I just had my dudes in the car with me, we'd be all the way into the fucking oncoming traffic lane. You gotta do that when you're drifting a turn that fucking sharp at that speed. So, whatever. But I wanted to stay in the lane, so I figured I could probably just keep control of the car. The berm is good, like, 10 inches or something like that. And one of the rear tires went off the berm, which started me fishtailing. And time slowed down. Instants were going along in minutes. It was amazing. The experience is very interesting. I don't recommend going through the harrowing experience you need to get there, but it is fucking cool if it happens. And I figured I'd turn, try and correct. And then I thought about, I'm sitting there looking at the hill, thinking about her getting slammed into the hill, thinking that's probably a bad idea. And so I kind of tried to correct, just to get it back into control. And that didn't work. And so I tried to gain control again, thought about slamming her into the hill, and went kind of fuck it. And just kind of turned into the guardrail, hoping that the guardrail would slow me down. I was braking the whole way, I was hoping that the guardrail would just slow us down, and then we'd stop, and I'd fuck up the car, but we'd be fine. Well, guardrail was enough to rip the fucking front fender of the car off, which put the wheel onto the guardrail, which of course ran us right up over the guardrail. And then we straddled the guardrail and then just kind of flopped over and landed up against a tree that was this big around at its base. I know this because when I looked down and tried to open the door, stupidly enough, I could see the trunk of the tree. And So I looked at her, and she was freaking out. You know, she was starting to hyperventilate. You know, and I looked at her, and she looked at me, and I went, "We're here," and she did not find that funny. So I had to get out, you know, unbuckle myself, get out of the seat, and then she started freaking out about the smoke, thinking the car was on fire, and I'm like, no, that's just fucking a mile and a half of dirt that's now wafting over us. Whatever, you know. And so I had to push the car door open and fucking launch her ass out of the car. And then I got squatted down and got the cell phone, and then I jumped out onto the road, and I'm sitting there looking at the chassis of the car like she was fucking freaking out, and I was trying to calm her down, and I called my dad, and I'm like, "Dad," and he's like, "What's up?" And I'm like, "I killed the car." He's like, "Where are you at?" And I'm like, "Oh, just come down this road." I'm like, "You'll see us." And he's like, "Well, where is the car?" And I'm like, "It's off the road up against a tree." And he's like, "Well, can you get it back onto the road?" And I'm like, "Not unless we had a crane of some sort." And he's like, "Okay." And I'm like, "Yeah, just come down this road, Dad. You can't miss us. You'll see us. You won't miss us." And he's like, "All right." So, you know, him and Mom came and picked us up, and I guess when they came around the turn and Mom saw the car up against the tree, she freaked out and thought I died. And I'm like, "What, I called you from the afterlife to tell you to come and get me?" Like, no, I was alive, Mom. But yeah, and all I got was a slight scratch. Ever so slight of a scratch. That was the only injury between both of us. She ain't come to school the next day. Can't blame her. I went. That was an interesting day. Everybody told me that I killed her, and I'm like, I didn't kill her. She's just not here today. Nobody wanted to believe me, but I'm like, no, she was fine when I left her. Yeah, that's my favorite memory involving a car. And I didn't even own that car, but I was gonna, so it counts. All right, mine was after beating the fastest car at our high school just 3 weeks after buying my second car ever. Nice. The looks you get when you beat someone's Corvette that Daddy bought them with a turbo all-wheel drive 5-door wagon from the late 80s. Fucking A, right? Yeah, hell yeah, turbo. That'll do it. That's fucking great. That's a way better story than mine. Incorruptible Mike Adams. He asks, "The closet door is open. The Egocast 2019. Congratulations on your coming out." I am not homosexual. That's what I told the other guy. No. Alright. Lisa J asks, question 1. When did you get the tattoo? This was years ago. Years and years ago. 4 or 5 years ago. And I got it over the span of years. A couple years. So, yeah, a while ago. Question 2. Ever considered wearing your hat the other way around? Yes, we talked about this once before. When I do this shit, you can't fucking see my eyes. My eyes play a big role. I don't want to fucking do this because I feel like a fucking chode, and you can't. Why am I even wearing a fucking hat at this point? You can't even hardly tell I'm fucking wearing one. This looks dumb. Like, dude, no, I don't. This is the way I wear hats. I wear hats this way for multiple reasons. First of all, whenever I'm outside, I wear sunglasses. My eyes are a little bit light sensitive, so I generally wear sunglasses because usually I'm like this, and when I'm driving and I'm like this, I get tired. I don't want to do that. So I usually wear sunglasses whenever I'm outside and it's sunny. So, don't need the brim for that. But the brim covers your neck, which keeps you from getting sunburned on your neck, which is awesome. And I started wearing my hat this way when I was a teenager because I just thought it looked cool. And then I found out when I was working, and I was still wearing my hat backwards, if you're starting up an extrusion line and it's spinning at 2,000 RPM and it's spitting out hot fucking plastic everywhere, it keeps that shit from hitting the back of your neck too. So it's awesome in so many ways. It's actually very functional to wear your hat backwards. And if you ever find yourself outside in the heat, in the sun, and it's annoying your eyes and you forgot your sunglasses, you can say, well, fuck it, if I get a little bit burn on my neck, fuck it, whatever. And you turn this shit around like this, and guess what? Visor. So, hats are very functional in very many ways. Plus, it looks cool. The girls like it. Question 3. Is the second recliner for the sex doll? No. The second, it's this other half of my couch. And it's for guests. It's not broken, like the half that I used to sit on. So I keep it. And it's for guests, should I ever get them. But usually it just holds my keyboard and like a bunch of shit. Like notes and stuff. So, it's functional. I don't have another table. So, there's the other thing. Question 4. Do you worry about AOC as much as I do? Fucking no, not really. I seriously consider her to be possibly the biggest threat to democracy I've seen in my lifetime. I mean, I'm not your feelings. I get your I get you. I do. I understand. But think about it. I don't think she sees another term, honestly. I would honestly be quite surprised if she gets reelected to office. I'm just saying. Let's see how the reelection goes before we start freaking out about her. I mean, something about her, keeping in mind I'm Canadian and very liberal, legit terrifies me. Oh, yeah. Oh, she's a sociopath. Oh, yeah. In a big fucking way. Hell yeah. I can't even say allegedly. My thoughts on her are, she's a sociopath. Oh, yeah, that's my thoughts. I'm not saying that that's just what I think. I think she's a fucking sociopath. Yeah, I get you. I get you a lot, but I don't think she gets reelected. Just saying. I know it's an old one. Sorry. Sam Weaving asks, I know it's an old one, but are traps gay? No. Traps are not gay. We've established this. Tetramas asks, don't edit out the hands up thing. Damn, I laughed. Well, Fraggle Rock Moonwalk. Question. If a boy, trans baby, was born on an island with only men and the mom was whisked away right after giving birth, how would that kid know it's supposed to be in a woman's body, never knowing women existed? Fuck if I know, man. How the fuck does it happen at all? I don't know. Fuck me. I don't know. Mr. Self-Destruction asks, anal? And to that I say, tickle. For those of you who are wondering, that's become an inside joke between me and him. I'm not entirely sure if he's entirely in on the inside joke. So it's just kind of a game I play with myself, using him as a tool to entertain me. Game Dev Made Easy asked, what up, Jesco? If you had to choose between marrying and having intercourse with a male to female trans or a gay man, which one would you choose and why? The male to female trans, because I am more attracted to women. Alright. Game Dev Made Easy. Again, Jesco. What is the name of a favorite song you have in the metal, rock, hip-hop, country, and electronica genres? Metal would be Slipknot, Wait and Bleed. Rock, I'm going to go prog rock and say Tool. About 90% of their catalog. Hip hop, I'm going to go... I'll throw out Big L Platinum Plus this time around. It's a great fucking song. Country, Dolly Parton, Jolene. And electronica, I don't remember who does it, but it's called Drowning, and it was on Moonshine over someplace. I can't remember the name of the album. It was a Moonshine record. It was called Drowning. Fucking great song. I like the drum and bass version of it. So look up drum and bass Drowning, and anything Moonshine, you're there. Yeah, there you go. Game Dev Made Easy. Just go again. Alright, Andy, I'm making a 2D side-scrolls platformer / Metroidvania style of game. What the fuck does that even mean? Metroidvania? It's a side-scroller platformer. So is it Metroid or Castlevania? Because they're both the fucking same thing. Pretty much. Lasers or whips? Like, what are we doing here, man? Alright. What kind of puzzles do you think would be really cool to try to implement? The more oddball or outside of the norm, the better. You know what? What puzzles I always kind of wished that they had... Yeah, wish that they had in both Super Metroid and Castlevania. Any of the Castlevania? Well, I guess Super Castlevania, because that was when they really did that shit. But the grapple hook and the whip swing, that was, I think, very underused in both games. Like, there were times where you just kind of had to do it to... Like in Metroid, mostly you just had to do it to get from one fucking place to another. It was fairly linear in Metroid. But in Castlevania, I remember there being a couple of times where you had to whip swing from one thing to another, and you kind of had to like do almost a course through it. And I thought that was kind of cool. And I always wish that they would have done puzzles with that. Like moving around a wall. You know, things on a wall. By doing that, and like you can use swing physics too to make shit move and stuff like that. I don't know, that would be kind of neat. I think that would be kind of neat. But I don't know what the fuck you're doing. I don't know if you're doing lasers or whips, so I don't know how much of that applies to you. But there you go. Tetramas throws in, don't do bomb hopping. Hated that in Metroid. I liked the bomb hopping. I didn't like the RNG aspect of it. It annoyed me that it was such a pain in the ass to get it to actually climb very fucking far. That annoyed me. I didn't like that shit. If you could do it better, that would be cool. I think a way that it would have been neat to do it would have been, like, because you could, well, she didn't really do bombs when she was not in the ball form. It would have been cool if you could, like, set where you wanted the bombs to go and then do, like, a neat, I don't know, thing of it just automatically kind of doing what you set up. Like, that would be cool if you had to do bomb hopping. You know, make it a little bit more user-friendly than just fucking RNG it. Yeah, fuck that shit. I hated that shit. Beard Bear. Have you ever thrown a midget? No, she was over 5 feet. If not, would you? I mean, if everything was consensual, I don't know. I mean, that's kind of... If everything was consensual, yeah, I'd throw a midget. Hunting, thumbs up or thumbs down? I don't disagree with other people hunting. I would just rather go to the grocery store and not all that effort. And I respect you more if you use a bow. Notice I didn't say compound bow or crossbow. I said I respect you more if you use a bow. Do you have kids/kids? I had a child for 2 years between the ages of 6 and 8. Shit didn't work out, so I gave it back. Things with the mom weren't fantastic. Area 51, you there or just laughing at the aftermath? I think that anybody who seriously thinks that they're gonna fucking Naruto run storm the goddamn Area 51, they're in for a world of fucking not being happy with themselves. Like, they do live fire testing and shit like that there. Like, don't do that. It's Air Force test base. They're running fucking mock dog fights and shit. Don't do that shit. Don't fuck with them. That's where I'm at with it. Yeah, I'm laughing at it. It was fucking... I think it's hysterical. I think the page is hysterical. The fact that there are people who are booking fucking flights and shit, I think is retarded. There you go. I mean, if they're just going to go and all sit out and look at Area 51, you know, that town that's near there, that's like 90% of their fucking... all the money they make is from tourists going and just sit and stare at fucking Area 51. So they're going to have a boom season, and I think that's awesome for them. But yeah, I think this is ridiculous. If you could fight Arnold or Stallone at their current age, who and why? I think I could beat Arnold. Do not think I could beat Stallone. So I'm going to go with Stallone just because I don't puss out. If I'm going to challenge myself, let's fucking do it. Ninjas or pirates? I always thought the pirates were better in dodgeball. But I would much rather be a ninja than a pirate. They won on the fucking TV show where they figure that shit out. Answer one or all, I don't care. Too late. P.S. DC or Marvel villains? I go Marvel everything. Marvel is more well-rounded. The characters have more depth. They have weaknesses that aren't silly external things. They have like actual fucking weaknesses. Like Superman is pure, unflappable, and godlike. Just fucking godlike in all situations under all circumstances. And if he isn't for a page or even a panel, he will be before the next page or panel is done because of some whatever. All DC characters are for shit, pretty much. And what's his weakness? What's his actual weakness? Rock. You gotta fucking rock. You gotta find a rock and have it near him. But even that works when it works. It doesn't when it doesn't really have to. Because the writing is so for shit in DC. Just everything DC is for crap. So Marvel villains, because they're cool. Like one of the coolest fucking things about Thanos when you read him in the books, you don't get it from the movie. One of the coolest things about Thanos in the books is that he attains ultimate victory, gets his achievement, and then pretty much just pisses it away. Because at that point he's like, I did it. He's all in it for the quest. He wants to achieve. He could give a fuck less about actual divinity. And that's what I think is awesome about Thanos as a character. And I'm kind of sad that they didn't do that with him in the movies. But at the same time, I really love what they did with him in the movies. It was awesome that in the first movie, he was almost like going on a holy pilgrimage. And he was you could really relate to him as a character, and you could almost sit there going, I don't know, that sounds legit. Like, you know, like you think about it and you go, it's terrible, but he got a point to a degree. And he was so nice about everything, right? Like, you know, you really felt for him as a character. He suffered through loss. It was cool. It was very good. It was a whole different angle. Still making him more than just a psychopath, right? He was more than just a nihilistic sadist. And that's what he is in the books. Somewhat. And they really brought that out in the first movie. And then in the second movie, he was a fucking psychopath. And you got both sides of the guy. And it was awesome to go in kind of the reverse order. The books usually, he starts off a psychopath and he becomes kind of a cool guy. They went the reverse order. I thought it was awesome. Thought it was great. But yeah, it was so cool when Adam Warlock goes to fucking see him at the farmhouse, and he's just like, you know, and I it was all awesome. Marvel, just because the writers can write.